What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Today, on this Wednesday episode, we're actually going to be doing an unboxing, but it's not going to be really a micro brand. It's going to be a company I get a ton of questions about, Zeppelin. Okay, a bunch of people, ever since I started this channel, have asked me about Zeppelin watches, and the truth is, I've never really been able to formulate an opinion about them because I've never really seen one in person firsthand, but that's all about to change because one of my channel members sent me a little something to my P.O. box. It says, Bichtung ne für Channel Mitglieder Augen, which according to Google Translate means attention for channel members only. I'm actually going to be breaking this rule, don't worry. Dan Wazi, channel member, certified T3 bot, he's cool with it because the truth is, I'm going to actually show this review to the main channel because yeah, I've never really reviewed a Zeppelin watch ever. I don't think I've ever really mentioned Zeppelin watches on any of my top watch picks. So I think it would be a disservice to kind of limit this review only to the members. So congratulations, everyone. You are getting a little sneak peek of what we do over on the members side. So without further ado, let's take a look at a Zeppelin watch. It is 11:57 a.m. Let's get down to business. All right, here we go. For the first time ever, a Zeppelin watch. Now, the first thing I notice is actually this. It says automatic with the K, because that's right, this is from the Deutschland. Let's go ahead and get rid of this box for now. And we'll get up close to this Zeppelin automatic. It says LZ127. Let's talk about the specs. Okay, so we can see the Zeppelin automatic is already ticking away, and that's a good sign. All I did was take the watch out of the box and got that rotor going and got that movement winding. So this is, in fact, an automatic. One thing I think is kind of funny and quirky is that the little booklet inside the box had automatic spelled with a K, but here on the dial it's spelled with a C. Whatever, not a big deal. We can see when we're looking at the case, it has a full polished finish all around, no dual finishing. That's all well and good. We can see a date window over by the 3 o'clock. We'll talk about that more in a moment when we go ahead and test the crown setting and function, I should say. We can see some fairly broad hands when we're looking at those minute and hour hands. We're going to go ahead and test the Lume as well later on in this episode to see if those glow at all. But what I really want to do is take a look at the spec sheet because, again, I'm trying to learn as much as possible about these dang Zeppelin watches. So as we hone in on this very clean dial of this Zeppelin LZ127, we can take a look. The watch overall so far looks very, very clean. Now, what I will say is the indexes are not applied, but it's almost like inked Breguet numerals, and you can see they're playing with the light, so there's still a bit of a dynamic look. Very tastefully done, but let's take a look at the spec sheet. So this watch is made in Germany, as we can see down by the 6 o'clock. It says made in Germany. It does have an automatic movement. Now, the movement, we're going to flip over the watch and take a look at that. It is a Miyota 821A automatic, 21 joules. Now, what's interesting is that this specific movement, the 821A, sometimes hacks and sometimes doesn't. And here's what I mean by that. The earlier 821As from Miyota don't have hacking. The later variants do. We're going to see if this one does, because I'm not exactly sure. Let's see, I said 21 joule automatic. Push-pull crown, we're going to test that crown. 50-meter water resistance rating with a display case back, as you guys have seen. And of course, this does have a mineral crystal, so no sapphire here. But it makes sense when we factor in the price. We'll talk about that in a moment. So I've mentioned that push-pull crown. I've mentioned the fact that this Miyota movement sometimes hacks and sometimes doesn't. Let's go ahead and test the watch's crown setting and function, and we'll just see about that hacking capability. All right. Two very tactile crown settings. I can feel that. So this would be the date, I assume, and this would be the time. And we can see when we pull it to the second position, the second hand does in fact hack. Very nice. Let's move the hands a little bit of a skip from that second hand, but that's not actually abnormal. Okay, moving. See hand wind. Yes, there is resistance here, so this does hand wind. Let's check out that date setting. So we're in the first setting. And we can see the date is rotating with very tangible and tactile clicks into place. Not bad. So overall, from a visual standpoint, this Zeppelin looks very clean. I really do like those almost Breguet numerals around the dial. One thing that's, again, kind of quirky about this watch is, although that date window over by the 3 o'clock obscures where normally another numeral would be, this company decided to put a little pip, a little interesting little boop index. So although it's not a Breguet numeral, they still wanted something to be there in place, and doesn't look bad, but you definitely notice it. So now comes the time we gotta lay this baby flat once more, break out the digital calipers, and measure the dang thing. I think the cleanliness of the dial and the kind of lack of overall bezel makes it look like a large case diameter, but I actually don't know. It doesn't look humongous. It looks just very, very visible. Let's go ahead and see about that case diameter. So at the widest point, excluding the crown, 40.8 millimeters. That's actually really, really reasonable. I think it looks bigger than it is. Let's see. Yeah, 45.9 millimeter lug to lug. Let's see, it looks like a fairly thin watch. 13.1 millimeters thick, fairly standard, honestly. So these metrics make for a very decently wearable watch. I mean, we won't know until we put it on the wrist, but it definitely is not huge on paper. Let's go ahead and put it on the wrist and find out. All right, here it is, the Zeppelin LZ127 on my wrist for the first time ever. We can see a little signed buckle as well. The strap, actually quite comfortable. I was worried that this was going to be kind of a stiff cardboardy strap, but it actually fits my wrist, and it's fairly supple. Not terrible, not terrible. Again, I think that I'm a huge advocate for just swapping straps out anyway when you get a watch, because I don't know about you, I'm not really a fan of any factory strap, but I don't know if it's because this watch has already been worn before, because it is my channel member's watch, but very, very comfortable on my wrist. So good job, Zeppelin. Guys, gonna tell you, this watch, very, very visible on the wrist, but again, does not encompass the sides of my wrist. So this is, I think it was like just under 46 millimeter lug to lug. For reference, I have a 7.5 inch wrist, and this is a very, very wearable watch. So if you do have larger wrists than mine, I think that you could pull this off. And if you do have wrists a bit smaller than mine, I think you could totally wear this. So far, a very, very wearable watch, and very easy to read. I really, really dig that almost off-white, kind of cream colored dial. I dig it, man. I really dig it. So guys, you know, it's already time to talk about the Lume. It's already glowing, actually. Look at that. You know, Zeppelin has some very vibrant blue Lume. That's pretty impressive, honestly. I mean, there's no Lume around the numerals or anything like that, but those big broad hands, they took advantage of that and they put some decent Lume on there. Good job, Zeppelin. So after spending a few moments with a Zeppelin watch for the first time, having one here in the office, what do I think? Well, I think you could do a whole lot worse for under $200. That's right, guys. I told you I'd bring up the price. This is actually a very, very good entry-level option. Here's why. You're getting an automatic movement. You're getting a German-made watch. Now, again, this does not have a German-made movement. This does have a Miyota movement. I suppose that they are using the modern variant of that Miyota movement, because this does have hacking and hand wind. You're getting a date complication. I think if I had one complaint, the date complication is kind of dinky and almost seems like an afterthought, but they did border it nicely and it's there. So again, a little bit of added function. I really like that clean dial with those almost Breguet numerals. I think it's a highly visible watch, almost old school. I could see I could see this harkening back to almost vintage vibes. Again, it wears larger than a vintage watch would, but that's not a bad thing. I think it has a very versatile sizing. You're getting a display case back, decent finishing for what you're getting. Again, no crazy, center polish, top brushed or vice versa. No multiple finishes, but for the finishing you get, it's fine. It's a fine looking watch. And again, for under 200 bucks, yes, I have no issue recommending a Zeppelin watch, at least this one. I'm quite impressed. So my first experience with Zeppelin watches, I would say thumbs up here on the Time Teller channel. I've gotten watches in the office that are much worse than this and much more expensive. So I think I was able to find one online for around $171. I'll leave some links in the description below to various options for you guys. But special thanks to my certified T3 bots for making this possible. Specifically, Dan Wazi, certified T3 bot, a great supporter of mine. Thanks for sending me your watch and thanks for letting me film it for the masses. Had a lot of fun. And I was hesitant about this review because I was like, I don't know, Miyota movements and the Deutschland, can they actually even mix? Man, they came together, made a good watch. But guys, what do you think? Leave me a comment. Do you have any experience with Zeppelin and any of their other offerings? Do you own this watch specifically? Leave me that comment because I would love to learn from you guys. See, this is a perfect example of me learning from my viewers. Okay, guys, I am in no way a watch expert. There's still a lot of watches out there that I don't know much about, and this is a perfect example of one right here. So yeah, what do you guys think of Zeppelin? Do you have any of them? Have you had some good experiences, some bad experiences? Leave it in the comment section so we can all kind of learn from that. And I always appreciate interacting with you guys there. So please, guys, consider joining the channel as well, because again, this is directly benefiting my channel. All the help and support we get from my certified T3 bots. Again, $4.99 a month. You get 6 pieces of content a week plus access to that members only Discord chat. Whole lot of fun over there, and we would love to see you in that group. Check out all the affiliate links in the description below. That's a great way of helping the channel. So there's a ton of ways to support us here at the Time Teller channel, but the easiest one is just to keep doing what you're doing and watching the content. So special thanks to you, the viewer, because I film every day now, and what's a channel without a viewer? So thank you. Please consider subscribing, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.
LZ127